Stitchy friends, how are you all doing? This is Mika on Monday, April 8th, and I am here to do a very special Flosstube video for you. As you can see by the title, the majority of this video is going to be about our wonderful Dutch Stitch Retreat 2019. I have just come back from that yesterday, late afternoon. The withdrawal is very real. I am missing my stitching friends enormously, and I thought what better way to deal with that than to get a Flosstube video out as soon as possible. Luckily, it is a beautiful sunny spring day here. We have sunshine and blue skies. I have just taken 2 enormous cups of coffee. I have some water next to me. So let's see if I can make some sense about everything that has happened the last weekend. Of course, there will also be a report about, my normal stitching updates. But since it has only been 3 weeks since we last saw each other, there's not as much to show you about that as other times. But boy, do I have a pile of goodies on my right side, and do I have a lot of stories to tell you. So get yourself your favorite beverage, get some stitching, and let's have a nice visit together. First off, the very first thing that I need to do is to say a massive thank you to Ingeborg. Ingeborg, A Stitch Too Far, she once again organized this retreat, and just like last time, Ingeborg, you did a fabulous job. Thank you so very much for all the energy and the time and the hard work you put into this. You're a gem. I love you, and thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We had a wonderful time. It was my second time going to retreat, and it was a very different experience to last time. Last year was my very first time. I hardly knew anybody in real life, so I was excited but also very nervous, and this time I was just excited. I knew that we were going to have a fantastic time. I knew that it was going to be fun. And it was also interesting because we spent retreat this time in a very different location. We had a different hotel, a different city, a different LNS, and that was a very fun experience. We spent the retreat in Roden, which is a small town in the north of the Netherlands, close to the city of Groningen. And Rode is just a small, typical northern province town, but it has a beautiful LNS. It's called the Handwerk Boutique, which translates to the craft boutique. I was there once before, towards the end of last year, somewhere late November, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, late November. And I told you at length in my November update about my visit to the store, so I will not repeat all of that here. I guess other people will do that when their retreat videos come up. But the Handwerk Boutique is a very, very interesting store. They carry a lot of threads, a lot of fabrics, a lot of brands. And the fun thing was that it is a small store. It is on the ground floor of a house, basically. And there was no way that all 25 of us, we were 25 people this year, there was no way that all of us could fit in that space at the same time. So Ingeborg had asked us beforehand, please guys, let's make sure that we visit the shop, maximum 10 people at the same time. And that went super smoothly. There was no program, there was no schedule, there was no need for it. Everybody just went as they pleased. Most of us had 2 shopping rounds because of that, one on Friday, one on Saturday, and the hotel was very conveniently located to the store. It was about 15 minutes on foot and literally 2 minutes by car. So that was just perfect. And I will obviously show you all the haul that I got there, just in a little bit. I first need to tell you about the wonderful people that attended. Like I said, we were 25 people this time. The 17 people from last year all subscribed again. So it was great fun to see my friends from last year again. And we had eight new people attending. There was, first of all, of course, my good friend Patricia. I told you about her many times. I got her into stitching last year, and she was very excited to come along with me, which was an enormous amount of fun. And obviously, we were roomies, which was great. There were Cheryl and her husband Sean, a hilarious, hysterical American couple who live in Qatar. So much fun. Sean is also a stitcher, which was so nice to see the two of them, stitching side by side. He has a wonderful sense of humor, and Cheryl she has a giggle that is so contagious. Loads of fun. There was Brigitte and Diana, who both live in the Netherlands. There was Extra Design, or at least you all know her as Extra Design. I've practiced on your beautiful name a couple of times. Let's see if I can get it right. Jutjes. Did I still butcher that? I may have still butchered that. But anyway, your name is as beautiful as you are, my sweet new friend. I am so happy that you attended our retreat. It was so nice to get to meet you. And if I have to practice some more on your name, then you should definitely come to retreat next year, don't you think? Then there was Kelly, whom you all know and love as the Evergreen Needle. And let me tell you, I am a proper Kelly fangirl. I just adore her. And for some weird reason, I did not realize that she was coming to retreat until just a few weeks before. Like about a month before retreat started, I saw her name pop up on the Facebook group that Ingeborg had created for us. And I was like, what? Kelly is coming to retreat. I immediately messaged her how excited I was about that. She is fantastic. Kelly, you're so sweet. It was such a pleasure to meet you and get to know you a little. We spent some time on Friday afternoon having a walk around the neighborhood with a couple of people before it was lunchtime. And Kelly and I had a little chat, and she told me, I have brought a couple of my Mirabilia finishes in order to inspire you to get your Mirabilia back out. Fantastic, right? And I have made a video of the finish table, which I will, of course, edit into this video. You need to pause your stitching while that finish table shows up, and you need to have a look at Kelly's amazing, unbelievable Mirabilia finishes. If you know her, you know that Kelly is just a marvel at conversions. And to see them in real life, to see the dimension of the metallic threads and the beads and the crystals, mind-blowing, mind-blowing. And then, last but not least, if I'm not mistaken, we are now at 8. Yes. Last but not least, there was Mev from Mev Stitches in Paris. You all know how much I love Mev. And let me tell you, she was the life of the party. She single-handedly set the tone for the entire weekend. And she did that during dinner on Friday evening. Friday evening, after everybody had arrived, we had a big dinner with all 25 of us in the hotel. And out of nowhere, Mev appeared with 6 enormous bottles of the best champagne that we have ever tasted. She started pouring the glasses, we toasted, and it was an amazing drink. And this is coming from somebody who rarely drinks alcohol because she doesn't really enjoy alcohol. But this was just perfect champagne. Even our Italian ladies, Orietta and Raffaella, commented on how good that was. So that was a great start to the evening. And then a few hours later, we came to the point in between the main course and dessert, which is, the point in the evening where everybody is relaxed, appetites are satisfied, bellies are full, you start to lean back in your chair, you start to get a little bit lazy. And at that point, Mev leaned back in her chair and she said, you know what I would like now? I would like to have a massage. I would really enjoy somebody rubbing my shoulders now. A nice man, a beautiful man, fully waxed. And then for a split second, the room fell quiet. And in that split second, I was sitting across from Mev and I could see her eyes widen in shock at the realization of what she had just let slip. And after that split second, everybody burst out laughing. Everybody started cracking jokes, one after the other after the other. It was as if all our dirty minds collectively got switched on, and they stayed switched on for the rest of the weekend. We made so many dirty jokes and puns. It just kept on going. It kept on going. I seriously had no idea that stitchers have such dirty minds, but it was so much fun. It even came to a point where we could not look at each other anymore in the stitching room. We had to focus on our stitching, because if you caught somebody's eye or if one person started giggling, Cheryl, you, yes, you, if there was a little bit of eye contact, it would start all over again and people would fall out of their chairs laughing. I don't think my abs have ever had such a good workout as they have this weekend. And that was all thanks to Mev and that one hysterical comment about a fully waxed, nice, beautiful man. I know, of course, that this is the kind of story where you had to have been there to properly enjoy the sense of humor in it. I know that if I just tell it to you, it's not nearly as much fun, but that's all right. The thing is that if I have to give a proper report about how our stitching retreat was, you should know this story, and you should know that the words waxing and balls played central roles in our Dutch stitch retreat 2019. And now you can also understand why this Flosstube has the title that it has. More fun to follow in the rest of the video. Summarized, it is a miracle that we got any sort of stitching in, but we did. I brought two projects with me. Woodland vines, first of all. I just put one length of thread in that during Friday afternoon, so I will show you that one in the regular stitching update later on in this video. And then we had our Tilt and Craft starts. You may remember from my previous video that I told this lengthy, detailed story about how much I love Takaki's Promise to Heart, as charted by Tilt and Crafts. I was going to start that at retreat together with Denise. She bought Takaki's Rebirth to start it at retreat. And about a week before retreat started, Dunja joined in on the fun. She bought Takaki's Athena, and we started our new projects with the three of us. And I actually got quite a bit done. Let me show you. Here is my start. This is the bottom, no, not the bottom, the top left corner of the design. I will put a picture in here, by the way. So this is the top left corner. There is loads of confetti in this, which I was a little bit intimidated by, but there are two things that are really helping me. First of all, there is the gridding. I started gridding especially for this piece, and I will tell you a bit more about that in my regular stitching update. That definitely helped with counting. And what also helped was this special needle. I hope it will focus, and otherwise I will put a picture in. This is a ball pointed needle. Let me take it off and show you. Nah, that's not focusing, is it? This needle came in a little gift bag that we received as gifts from the ladies of the Handwerk Boutique, which was super nice. And I had never used these needles before. But it was in my gift bag, and I thought, hey, it would be fun to try this on my Tilton piece. And this really helps, especially with confetti. Apparently, and I'm going to quote Dunja here, apparently ball-pointed needles make it easier to open up the hole. And I don't have to explain you how that comment threw us into another laughing fit. But I will try to keep my mind out of the gutter now. But it's true though, dirty jokes and puns aside, this is really a nice needle for, full coverage pieces. And I've already looked it up on the web shop of the Handwerk Boutique. They sell these needles in 3 sizes. This is the bigger one, and there are 2 sizes smaller or thinner. They are €2 a piece. I think I'm gonna order a couple more to go with all my full coverage pieces, because this, the combination of gridding and this needle, I mean, look, there is over 1,000 stitches in this piece in under 48 hours. And it continues all my favorite DMC threads so far. There is 995 in here, 3843, 996, 820, 796. It's gorgeous. The confetti still intimidates me a little bit because it has been a very long time since I did anything with confetti stitching. But I'm very happy with my start, and I look forward working on this some more. That was the stitching that I did. And now let's go to haul. I have so many goodies to show you. So many goodies. We need to start, obviously, with XDU Designs pop-up store. Yes, you heard that right. We had our very own XDU Design pop-up store at Retreat. I don't know how Jukush did it, but she must have some kind of 8 or 9 days to the week. She brought piles and piles of threads and fabrics with her, and it was gone in the blink of an eye. As soon as she put her goodies out on the table, everybody ran to that like bees come to honey. It was so fun to see. I was very relaxed about it because I had taken the option of pre-ordering some stuff. And that was a very good call because I got some goodies that other people didn't. I even had to store away my purchases in the hotel safe because otherwise Ingeborg and Annerique would have stolen it from me. Naughty girls. First up, a couple of threads. This is her beautiful peacock lilac, DMC based. Isn't that wonderful? Blues and purples. Then we have the equally beautiful Peacock Elegance DMC base. This is gorgeous blues and greens. And then I ordered 3 fabrics with her, all 36 count linen. The first is this ice blue, a beautiful light blue linen. Then we have a favorite of mine, turquoise sky. Look at that. Oh, I love, love, love this. And then the absolute masterpiece. I asked YouTube, I need to practice, if it was possible to dye a fabric in the colors of Peacock Elegance. She said yes, and boy did she deliver on that. This is Peacock Elegance in 36 count linen. Isn't that stunning? I had to lock this away and check various times throughout the day if Ingeborg and Annerique hadn't been naughty. But when you see this, I bet you can understand why. This is a fantastic fabric. And when she handed me my package, she told me, this is my new favorite fabric to dye. That was so fun. What I absolutely loved about having XTU Design with us at retreat was that I could now tell her in person how much I love her products. I've said it before and I'll say it again. She is my absolute favorite fabric dyer. No other dyer comes even close. Not even the big commercial companies like, for instance, Pole Stitches or Picture This Plus. Nobody beats XTU Design, in my opinion. I love the colors that she comes up with. I love the names that she gives them. I love how she, mentions in her Etsy shop which DMC shades are the closest to the fabric, so you can really get an impression of what you're buying. And I love how they smell and how soft they are. And it was so nice to be able to tell her that in person and to see her eyes light up and her smile appear on her face. She is a lovely, lovely lady. She told me how she makes the fabrics smell like they do. And I'm obviously not going to spill that secret out here on Flosstube, but it is so nice, to know that. She also explained me how she dyed Peacock Elegance and how it took 3 layers of dye to make it look like this. It's the little things like that that make a weekend like this so super special. So thank you, sweetheart. It was my honor and my pleasure to get to know you. That was my XTU Design haul. And now, of course, there is a bunch of Handwerk Boutique haul. I set myself a budget before I went on retreat because I am still on my minimal spendings mission. But I told you in my plans for the New Year video that I would allow myself to splurge at retreat. I didn't go completely over the top. I was extremely tempted to just break that Gloriana's wall off the wall of the shop and try to fit it in my car somehow. No, I'm joking. But yeah, the threads that they sell, I couldn't get enough. So I set myself a budget, and I'm pretty proud to report that I've kept my expenses close to that. I went a little over it, but not too much. I didn't go completely nuts. The first thing that I bought was a pre-order from Nashville. Heartstring Samplery's latest edition in the coffee series. It reads, I don't have a problem with coffee, I have a problem without coffee. Ain't that the truth? I have no intention of starting this anytime soon. I just loved it. This was my personal favorite release at Nashville this year. I love the coffee series, and I thought it would be nice to have a smaller project in my stash because I always go for the big things. So that was purchase number 1. Purchase number 2 was just a few skeins of DMC that I needed for my Tales and Crafts, so I'm not going to show you those. Purchase number 3 was an ink circles design. Castle Walls, a recent release. This is another biggie. It measures 231 by 231 off the top of my head. It obviously caught my attention because of the beautiful blue that is used in it. But what I really love is the symmetry of it and how all the gargoyles in this design make me think of Paris. When I took this one out of the basket, Patricia immediately started singing songs from the Disney movie The Hunchback of Notre Dame. So that stayed in my head for the rest of the weekend. This is lovely. I already have a fabric and threads in mind for this. I want to stitch this on Turquoise Sky, one of the fabrics that I bought at XTU's pop-up store. For the blue that is used In the design, I have a Silks for You hank in mind, and that is thanks to Ingeborg and Annerique. Ingeborg and Annerique had bought 5 skeins of Silks for You, of which they are now, being both parents. They have them in shared custody, and they brought the hanks to retreat. One of them is a beautiful teal blue. It's color PR 147, I think. I saw that and I asked them, oh, can I hold that for a second? I put it on top of this fabric and the two just sang together. I've made a picture, I'll edit it in here. So naturally, I ordered that hank of silk during retreat weekend. I'm gonna share it with Patricia, so we will both have half of it, which should be more than enough. And I have yet to make a decision about the charcoal part of the design. I'm not too fond of it being a charcoal or a dark gray or even black. I think I might go for a dark blue or maybe even a dark green. I have yet to decide, we'll see. This is gonna get started probably in May because one of our retreat friends has a birthday in May and she is contemplating throwing a little birthday stitch along. So if that happens, this is gonna get started. And it was very fun to see that after I bought this, I also enabled Debbie and Dunja to buy this. So we might have another shared start on our hands sometime soon. And then, my favorite purchase of the weekend. Of course, it had to do with this beautiful Peacock Elegance fabric. When we went to the shop on Saturday for a second round of shopping, I took this fabric because I really wanted to see if I could find some Glorianas that would sing with this fabric. I went without a concrete plan in mind. I just knew that I really wanted to see if I could combine this with a Gloriana. That was my mission. And as we were searching in the shop, an ink circles design popped into my head that I already own. Baroque. This is another biggie. It's about the same size as Castle Walls, if I'm not mistaken. Something around 240 by 240. This is a design that somehow I always had a bit of mixed feelings about. I love it for the symmetry. I love it for the motifs and the beautiful curvy swirly border. But it is very busy and very dramatic, just like the whole art period of Baroque. I mean, it's a well-chosen name. I remember that back in art history class in high school, I used to have a similar feeling about the whole Baroque period. I love it for, the ornamental elements. I love it for how bombastic and how dramatic it is and how, expressive. But at the same time, it's so busy that often with Baroque pieces of art, I just would not know where to start looking. And I've always had the same feeling with this ink circles design. I love it, but there is so much to see that I have no idea where to start. Do I start looking at the border? Do I start looking at the center? Do I start looking at one of the 9 beautiful motifs? I didn't know. So I had it in my stash for about 2 years, and I knew someday it's going to click with me because I do love it. And this weekend, I think it clicked. As I was in the shop, I laid the Peacock Elegance fabric on a table and I started, laying all my favorite Glorianas on there. Midnight, Holiday Blue, Caribbean Sea, Jewel Turquoise. And nothing really, let's say, made love with the fabric. Maybe it's a weird expression, but that's what I'm thinking of now. This is a very unique color. You explained to me that there is 3 different layers of color going in this before it before it reached the effect that she wanted it to have. So this is a very dense, interesting, unique color. And for some reason, no matter how many colors I put on it, I think I was going back and forth to the wall for at least half an hour. Nothing really made it sing. And then I moved over to the other side of the shop where they have Threadworks, Classic Colorworks, Weeks Dye Works. And I took this thread of the wall. This is Weeks Dye Works Santa Cruz. They released it, if I'm not mistaken, at Nashville last year. And I've always loved it since then. I've always thought, someday I need to buy a skein of this just to own it, because look at that. That is a mica thread, right? I saw that they had 3 skeins of this. I took it off the wall. I put it on the fabric. Oh, heck yes. Oh, heck yes. But Baroque requires at least 7 or 8 skeins if you want to do it in one color. That wasn't going to do. And then I thought, how much fun would it be to do Baroque in 2 colors? Undoubtedly, people have done that before. I have never seen it, but undoubtedly some stitches have stitched this in more than one color. I thought, how much fun would it be to put 2 colors in this design? And maybe that's the idea that I'm having now, to do the center motif and this inner border in one color and everything else in another color. In that way, it will make it much easier for your eyes to determine where am I going to look first. And that idea started going around and around and around in my mind. And then Ingeborg stepped in. She saw that I was, not entirely being sure about my color choices. And she asked me, remind me again on the color wheel, what is opposite of blue? And I said, yellow and oranges. We took a couple of oranges off the wall, laid it on the fabric, not so much. And then she reached to the top shelf and took off this. This is Gloriana's Blue Grass. And when we put that on the fabric, let me show you what happened. There. That's perfect, isn't it? Ingeborg was standing around me, Annerique was standing around me, Patricia was standing next to me. And I think the moment that we laid this Gloriana's on the fabric next to the Weeks Dye Works, all 4 of us said, yes, that's the one. So, there is another new start. Ink Circles Baroque on Peacock Elegance with Weeks Dye Works and Gloriana's. I am excited. And I have a question for you. Please give me your input. When should I start this? Because I want to start it right now, if I'm honest. Once this video is done and edited and uploading to YouTube, I want to pop this fabric in a Q-snap and start it immediately. It would be a very nice memory of retreat. On the other hand, I think that if I would start this, it would take away my attention from Tilton Crafts. And it would also be fun to wait with this start until May, or better said, Mania. So I'm also thinking about, starting Baroque and Castle Walls in May to make my own little version of Mania. What do you think? Please let me know in the comments. Do I start it this week or do I wait until Mania? Let me know, please. That was all the haul, and we are nowhere near done because next part is gifts. Get a drill bucket because this is gonna be beautiful. First up is the ornament exchange that we did on Saturday. I participated this year. I'm going to show you what I made later on in the stitching update. And what I got as a gift was exquisite. Look at this. That is a peacock biscornu made for me by Linda. And she told me that this was her first time beading and her first time making a biscornu. Do you believe that? Because I don't. This is exquisite stitching. Oh, look at that. I could not believe my eyes when I opened this. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And I can also tell you, we have learned this weekend how to properly pronounce the word biscornu. Mev taught us that it is a French word. It means, if I'm not mistaken, twisted, which is a very fun name for this shape. And apparently you don't pronounce it biscornu, but you pronounce it, of course, in a beautiful French way. Here we go, ladies. Biscornu. So, from now on until forever, this is going to be a biscornu. Gorgeous. I love this. And as soon as this video is done, I'm going to give this a very special place in my house. Thank you, Linda. She also gave me a beautiful tea/coffee mug from the city of Heemskerk, where she lives. Lots of blue and blue Easter chocolate. Thank you. That was gift number 1. Gift number 2 nearly made me cry. And I blame Cheryl for that. On Friday afternoon, Cheryl grabbed my arm at some point and she said, I want to give you something. I was like, oh, okay, okay. By that point, I had just said, hi to her. We had met and exchanged names and given each other a hand and a kiss, and that was that. We had never met before, but she looked into my eyes and she said, I want to thank you for the videos that you make. And I want to thank you specifically for sharing your mental health journey. And then, you guys, she gave me this. First of all, from Qatar, beautiful teal colored trimming. And that was not all. Next, she gave me Dinky Dye's fabric and a skein of Dinky Dye's Mediterranean Sea, a limited edition. And then, in the package was 5 colors Vicky Clayton. I was speechless. I honestly did not know what to say. I was stunned and I could not believe that somebody that I have never met in person before would appreciate my personal stories, my life updates so much that she would give me something like this. Cheryl, I've hugged you and kissed you and said thank you 1,000 times. I'm gonna add one more. Thank you. This is a treasure. Thank you. Then, on Saturday, Deborah surprised me with a gift. That one also came out of nowhere. She made me a biscornu. Look at that. It comes with a chain and a beautiful button that says, it's probably not going to focus, but we'll try. Life is tough, but so are you. She had been working on this shortly before retreat, And when she was putting it together and she found this button, she said to me, I knew that this was meant for you. Gorgeous, Deborah. Thank you so much. And then lastly, no, not even lastly, we got a free pattern. Raffaella gave all of us a printed copy of Fairy Wool in the Wood, Egg Fresh Farm. I'm reading I'm reading this mirrored, sorry. Farm Fresh Eggs. This is Cassandra, the lady behind Fairy Wool in the Wood, which you can find on Etsy. Look at that naughty fox. Look at that expression. Oh. This is not my normal style of stitching, but I really, really like this. Thank you, Cassandra. Very thoughtful. Thank you. And then, yeah, and that is the last bits of gift. Then we got a gift basket from the beautiful ladies at the Handwerk Boutique. After the store was closed on Saturday, they came over to the hotel to have a look at Xtio Designs stuff, to have a look at our finished table, to have a look at what everybody was doing. And when they left, all of a sudden, there were 25 gift bags on the table in the back. They each contained something different, and that was just, yeah, so thoughtful, so fun. Mine contained that ball-pointed needle that I just showed you. There was a card in it, lovely card. Their business cards of a part of the shop. And yes, look at that thread wall. There was yet another Bisco Nu, a free pattern that Ink Circles designed for them when they had a special occasion, and a limited edition Gentle Arts. Look at that. This thread was originally in Cheryl's package, but she already owned this limited edition, so she swapped it for my dark green one. I've never owned Gentle Arts before. Super cool. Is that all the gifts that I wanted to show you? Yes, for this part of the story it is. Because something else is going to come up in the regular stitching update. That was a retreat part of the story. I am going to insert some video clips and some pictures in here. I hope you enjoy that. And after that, we will be back for our regular stitching stories. Let's have a look at our gorgeous finished table. It's quite evident that Kelly is at retreat. She literally said to me yesterday, I brought these to enable you to continue your blue-red mirror. So I have to. And looking at Ingeborg's, I wonder why not more of us stitchers are doing this. It's gorgeous. Laura's Disco. Dunja's Autumn Sky. Deborah's beautiful finishes. Brigitte's finishes. And now we turn to the other side. Mav's Mermaid. Gorgeous. Denise's Map of Middle Earth, which she told me yesterday over dinner will be finished in around 7 years if she keeps this up. Ingeborg's Dildo, of course. Linda's beautiful samplers. Margreet's gorgeous finish. Emma's Birdkeeper, I believe is the title. There's my Frosselt. Mav's recent finish. Patricia's Pretty Little Cities, Mav's Whip of Dragons of Sumatra, and here we come to Nolene's Linen Thread Sampler by the Bay Needle Art, Clouds Factory. Once again, just like last year, it's a good thing the people at the hotel have no idea how much value is lying here out in the open.
In this retreat, we may all be ladies, but we have...
Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. We had a fantastic time, and I hope that I could, give you a sense of the fun and the vibe that we had with each other. Now let's move on to a proper stitching update. We need to start, of course, with the giveaway that I told you about last time. I have finished Joke Trebbe de Nijs design frostled, and I put a giveaway in my last video. You could enter until yesterday, and the question that I asked you was, what is at the moment your favorite thread color? I got quite a lot of entries, and so earlier today I chose YouTube's random comment picker, and this is what came up. It is Monday morning, time to pick the winner for my Frosselt pattern giveaway. I am using the website YouTube Random Comment Picker. I have just inserted the URL to my video. It tells me that I have 109 unique commenters. And now let's pick a winner. Drum roll. Melissa Eggleston, you wrote, "Yay for a finish. Can't wait to see your small. I'm so happy for you and your progress. You've worked incredibly hard and it shows. My current favorite floss color is DMC 4210. It just makes me happy with its deep fuchsia." Melissa, congratulations. You have won my giveaway. I will let you know in a comment to the comment that you made. Please send me a direct message on Instagram if you want with your address, and I'll send it to you as soon as possible. Please get in touch, and congratulations. Congratulations again, Melissa. I hope you will get in touch with me very soon so I can get this beautiful pattern out to you. Thank you to everybody who entered. It was so much fun reading about your favorite floss colors. Quite a lot of people said that they love DMC 995, which is that bright blue, electric blue color. That was fun. It seems that my channel attracts a lot of blue lovers, which is no surprise, of course. Next, we need to move to the ornament that I made for our gift exchange at the retreat. I had Debbie, which I was insanely excited about because I just adore Debbie. She's become a friend since last year. And I decided to stitch a piece of Frosselt for her, the top left corner. I stitched it on 32 count Belfast polka dot with this beautiful variegated color and cotton thread. This is all that I have left. This is carmine. And you guys, I beaded for the first time in my life. I did. I think I stabbed myself with the beading needle at least a dozen times, but I did it. It's been something that I wanted to do since I started my blue-red memorabilia, probably 3 years ago. These are very old beads. They used to be my mom's. My mom gave me a big craft box years and years and years and years ago. And while I was thinking about Debbie's gifts, these came to mind. So I have no idea what brand they are. They just came like this. I will put in some pictures here of what I made for Debbie. A lot of firsts in there. My first time beading, my first time lacing something. Fun detail, Debbie put out a video about lacing a while ago. If you're interested, please go to her channel. The name is Creatively Yours. I used Debbie's tutorial to make an ornament for Debbie, which I thought was a lot of fun. She appreciated that. And then I framed it in this lovely little white tray. That was a fun experience. It wasn't nearly as difficult as I thought it was. I had to put the fabric in 3 or 4 times to make it sort of straight and to make it fit in the center. But this was fun. And I have always been a little bit intimidated about the idea of making ornaments and fully finishing things myself. But now I know that I can do it. So that was fun. Next in the stitching update is another gift. And something that blew my mind. I have the honor of now having 2 hanks of silk carrying my name. Yes, you heard that right. these gorgeous hanks of silk. This is Darling, beautiful green blue. And this is Darling Blue. I'm not kidding. They are made by the wonderful Mrs. Sedas. Sedas is Spanish for silk. She is a Spanish Etsy seller and a lovely woman. And a while ago, I got a mention on Instagram. She tagged me in a post that she was going to start Turkish Delight by Ink Circles. And she was in the process of dyeing this hank of silk because she was inspired by the color choices that she saw in my whips. What? So that was, awesome level through the roof already. If you inspire somebody, that's fabulous. Then a few days later, I got a message from her. Would it be okay for you if I call this hank of silk Darling? Yes, 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 of course that is okay. And then she started stitching with it. And after I saw her first update, I said, do you also sell this? Or is this a unique hank that you just dyed for yourself? No, she said, I have a couple more in the Etsy shop. So I immediately went and bought a skein of this. I will, of course, link it below. And then I got another message from her saying, is it okay if I send it a little bit later throughout the week because I want to throw in a surprise for you? Yeah, sure, of course. And then a few days later, not just one, but these two hanks of silk arrived in the post. This one just for free, a gift. Honestly, you guys, the stitching world just keeps on amazing me. Every time that you think that people cannot get kinder or more generous, somebody just blows everything out of the water. This is wonderful. Thank you, sweetheart. Muchas gracias. These colors are available in her Etsy shop, which I am linking down below. She has many more colors on sale, as well as needle minders. And since she is in Spain, this is really a good deal for especially European stitchers. And it smells amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I already have a project in mind for this. I'm not starting it anytime soon, I think, because I need to buy a pattern for it. But I've been wanting to stitch Long Dog Sampler's crossword for a while now. And this would be a real good color for it, I think. So have a look. Mrs. Sedas. Thank you again. Next up, some more stitching. That's about time, I think, right? I've only shown you one whip throughout this video. Let's throw in some woodland vines, shall we? Here you go. I've not done much since you last saw it, but, or actually, I think I have. I think since last you saw, I've added this bit. This is the bottom line of page 1. And this is the edge. That's the word I was looking for. The edge of page 1. So I'm going quite well already. This is such a relaxing stitch. I love the fabric, the jobelin. I love the threads. This is Caribbean by Color and Cotton. Yes, just relaxing. This is super good for when, for probably days like this, when you've had little sleep during the weekend and when your mind is just a buzzing beehive, but with good things this time, with good things. So there's Woodland Vines for you. And then the last thing that I worked on since we saw each other 3 weeks ago is my Night Moves by Heaven and Earth Designs. I'll put a picture in here. I have done a lot since you guys saw this last. I have finished page 1 and I am more than halfway through page 2 in a matter of just 2 weeks. Here you go. Ta-da! 50 Shades of Blue, as I like to call it. Although in reality, it is just 8 or 9 shades of blue. This is just, I love it. I love it, I love it. This is the top left corner. So we are in, background sky. On the next row, the moon is going to appear. I'm very excited about that. And this is going so super smoothly. Well, A, because it's not exactly confetti, but B, I started gridding on this project. And gridding is fantastic. I don't know why I have never done this before. I need to thank Jessie Marie for the inspiration. Jessie, thank you. I saw the grid lines in one of your whip pictures and I thought, hey, that might actually be a good idea. I'm gridding with this. This super metallic thread is called Sulky Sliver. And I know that many stitchers use this. It just had never crossed my mind that I would be able to get this in the Netherlands. But you can. Just Google it and you'll find several web shops where you can buy this. This is super, well, the name says it, this is super smooth thread. I just grid the column lines because I'm stitching in rows. So I just grid the column lines. I think gridding this second page took me maximum 30 minutes, maximum. And when you are done with the page, you simply pull the thread out and you can use the same thread again to grid your next page. Earlier on in this video, I showed you my start of Tilton Crafts Promise to Heart. That is also being gridded and that definitely helps with the confetti. So I'm very happy with this purchase and I highly recommend it. And that is all. Have I shown you everything that I wanted to? Have I told you everything that I wanted to? Yes, I think so. As far as life updates are concerned, since it has only been 3 weeks since my last update, I don't really have any newer news yet. We are in the process of slowly, writing a plan for me to slowly go back to work. I'm seeing my therapist later this week. I'm seeing the company doctor next week. And I think towards the end of April, maybe the beginning of May, I am going to start working again for 1, max 2 hours a week. We are in the process of writing, a plan for that, to formalize things. And they are advising me to take it with little steps. So just start with 1 or 2 hours and then build up 1 or 2 hours every week. And it is just a guideline. If it goes too fast, then, we will take more time. And like I told you last time, I'm nervous about it, but yeah. I think it will be good for me. The only thing that really bothers me now is the feeling of I am going to lose all the stitchy time that I had in the last 6 months. That is, of course, not a reason to not go back to work, but you guys, of all people, will definitely understand me. All the projects that are screaming my name, the new starts that I want to do with the purchases of Retreat. Yeah. But, if both my therapist and my company doctor tell me that they think I'm ready for it, and like I told you last time, I feel that I am crossing the line between not being able to work and postponing, it's time for me. So I am not entirely sure when my next update will be. It's been 3 weeks now, so maybe I will update again somewhere in May. I have no concrete plans for the stitching of the next weeks. We will continue with the Swiwi method, which I love. Once again, please let me know in the comments below what you think I should do with my Ink Circles Baroque start. Do I start it this week in memory of retreat, or do I wait for it and make a sort of mini Stitch Mania for myself? I would like to know what you think. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for liking and subscribing. Thank you for the continuing encouragement. Stitchy friends are the best friends. I've seen that again this weekend, and I continue to see it on here. Thank you very much. I hope you've been stitching away happily, and we will see each other again next time. Ciao, my friends!